Hello everybody, I am here for day 7 of the Art Journal Advent for 2025. And today's prompt is the word feel. So I'm trying to figure out what I could do for that, but this is what I've come up with. I've got a stencil. It's a stencil by Tracy Batista, and I'm going to use that, and I'm going to use some Winsor Newton Galleria acrylic paint in an opera rose. It's very pink, and I love pink, so that's why pink brings feelings, the color pink. So I'm going to squeeze out a bit of this on this piece of cardboard, which I may end up using as part of the cover for this journal. And I haven't fully decided yet. I found my makeup sponges, and I'm gonna just dab some of this color. It's a really pretty shade of pink on this page. I did not treat this page with watercolor ground, so that's one reason why I'm using acrylic paint. I'm just going to go around I think this is a really pretty stencil. Okay, now I'm going to take this away. Let's see what I've got. All right, that looks pretty good. So now I am going to kind of set this aside. I want to put this pink, well, before I do that, let's use the paint. I don't like to waste it. So I've got some papers out here that have been left over from some of my journal making, and I'm just gonna put this pink on them. This is a journal that had alphabet. Oh, it's a ledger, not a journal. I'll have a little bit of pink for something else. Okay, so now I'm going to put this aside, and I'm going to put the journal aside and let it dry while I do some slow stitching. I have already threaded my needle and tied a knot I've got 2 shades of pink, and I've tied a knot in the end. So I'm going to this is a piece of cheesecloth that I got, of dyed cheesecloth that I got from on Etsy. I tried to look for the company. I wasn't able to find it. Maybe I'll find it before I post the video. We'll see. At any rate, I'm just going to do kind of a running stitch. I've got 2 pieces. I've got the cheesecloth, and then I have this piece of yarn that I'm going to sew together. It's a little bit awkward when you're trying to, I got a pin in there too, let me get rid of that. When you try to sew on camera, I admire some of the people that, K3 and Catherine, on YouTube. If you've never watched her, watched any of her channel, you should, because she's incredible. She does a great job. And she sews on camera. That was my point. This yarn is turned every which way, so I'm not going to try to straighten it out. I'm just going to sew. Let's see if you can see that enough. Maybe I'll go back the other way and see, at least until my yarn runs out. I was a quilter in a previous life. I had a quilt shop in the Atlanta area for several years, and when I separated and was headed for divorce, I moved back to Virginia and had to close my quilt shop, and that was a traumatic experience for me. And I haven't really quilted since I made a quilt for my grandson. That was the only other quilting that I ever did, that I've done since I've been here. I did sew a top, but I have not put it together or anything, so. Okay, now I'm going to just tie this off, and I'm going to tie it off on the front. The knot, obviously, that I sewed, and it was in the thread when I started, is on the back, but this one is going to be on the front. Let me pull this out and see if I can get the loop close to the fabric. Now I don't quilt, I just sew paper. All right, so that's reasonably, well, let's see if I can do one more and actually get it a little bit closer. It's very cold here, and I have a brewery next to me, right? And I hear people talking outside. It's so cold. I can't imagine being out there drinking beer, but somebody is. Sometimes they have a band, but I haven't had a band since it got so cold. Okay, that should be good. I put my needle back in my pin cushion and get my scissors and clip some of this thread. I don't want to clip it all, clip some of it. And I'm going to set this aside and bring back my journal that I stenciled. It's pretty much dry. Doesn't take acrylic long to dry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some splatters. I'm going to splatter some white. My paint water's clean. I just changed it so I can dip my brush in there. All right, so let's rinse that off, and then we're going to bring the gold in and do some gold splatters too. I keep saying I gotta clean that palette out. was what I had some gold gouache in there before, which, you know, you can reconstitute, but this gold acrylic you cannot, obviously. And I need to clean this palette. Okay. My brush clean. Okay, splatters all over my arm. I'm gonna bring in my ink and find my dip pen. That's not the one I want. This is it. And letter the word feel. I can straighten that F up a little bit and then double my downstroke. Double the downstroke of this E. And this other E. It also brings the letters closer together, so you need to, you know, think about that when you're putting your letters down, that you leave enough room to double it. So, well, there I go, putting my brush in the, or pen in the cup with no water. Let's put the top back on this and set it back out of the way before I start drying this, because the top was popping off, if you have watched in the past. So let me get my heat tool, which is right here. I have a cup of not so hot tea anymore. It's gotten kind of cold. I've been busy in the studio doing, you know, pulling stuff together for 2 different projects, and I let it get cold. But I'm going to drink it, and anyway, the hot tea is good for this cold weather. I do hot tea and soup. And I did put a recipe for bread, a no-knead artisan bread on my YouTube, the previous project I was working on. Fresh bread. We're making blondies, not brownies, but blondies, which is a white, almost like a chocolate chip cookie. But I put white chocolate, in regular milk chocolate and caramel, and I've bought some Heath bits that I'm also going to put in there. I think that'll be good. All right, so I'm going to use Fabri-Tac because this is fabric. Let's figure out where we want to put this so I don't cover up all of this stencil. So let's just do it right there. Now I feel like this is, you know, is appropriate for the prompt. I can feel this, and the pink color makes me feel something. I'm just putting a line of Fabri-Tac down the part where the stitching is. I'll flip it over and put it right there. I'm going to hold it down a little bit till it sets up a little. Let's see. Oh, I'm trying to decide what else I might want to do. I think what I'm going to do is do some pink watercolor splatters. I already spritzed this tray or this palette of paint, so I shouldn't have to use too much water to get it ready for this. That's good. Some on the fabric too. All right. Let me dry this and then we will be done. I wish you could tell me if you're ready for Christmas. I don't do a lot of Christmas shopping anymore. I have one friend that I buy for and my grandsons, but not too much of anything else. All right, I think that's pretty dry. So let's take this deli paper out. That's from yesterday, my woods. Take the clip off. And so there we are. See my paper? The other thing I'm doing is the theme is green. Can you tell? Okay, so here we go. This is day 7 of the Art Journal Advent, and the word for today is feel. So thank you for joining me. I hope to see you again soon.